I'm an art director. I suppose I'm a film director as well. I do my own directing the shoots. And I've shot in every country you can imagine, all over the world. And I'm never surprised. The last time I was surprised was actually the first shoot I did in Japan. And I'll just tell you this little story. We were in Japan, everything is very confidential because they're petrified of Toyota, of Honda, etc. So every shoot has to be very confidential. So we hired, or the location company hired, this whole park for us to shoot at. It was a wildlife park, so it was a huge environment where we were going to drive these cars through the roads, etc., do this TV spot, which you'll see in a minute, the actual ended shoot. And anyway, we turned up and they knew that I was coming, and I was the guy Jing who likes to direct his film. And we started, and it was all, and the crew in Japan is immense. They are hundreds of people, and they never stop working. They are incredible. Not the most creative, but in terms of what they do, they're stunning. And some of you may have met film crews in the US and how we do it here, but in Japan it's very different. Anyway, we were doing the whole shoot, and then as the end of the day came, we were there for like a week, this van pulled up, and I'd been in Japan like a week, so it was all very new to me. And I watched these guys come out, these Japanese, and there were like 6 guys. And I said to my assistant, I said, what are these guys? And they say, I've no idea, we'll ask. So we asked, and they said, well, just wait a minute, Mark-san. And they sat on the bottom of the road, and they had their bento boxes, which is their packed lunch. And they were just sat there, had their lunch, and then as the light faded, they disappeared into the van. And 10 minutes later they came out, and they were dressed as what I can only describe as ninja. They were masked, booted, hoods. All you saw was their eyes. And I thought, what the fuck, can I say that? What the fuck are these guys going to do? And the producer said, just wait a minute, Mark, you'll see. Trust me, you'll see. Anyway, the light faded, and we were shooting this forest. And they got into the van, and they came out with these big, what can only be described as butterfly catchers. And what happened was, as soon as the light faded, we were dive bombed by these huge bats, moths. The whole jungle just came alive with animals. And these ninjas were there to protect us and the cameras. And they were literally running and diving, catching, because we were using lights, obviously. And obviously if these, and I'm not joking, these moths are, and they were flying into the lights. And of course, if you know, if a moth of that size hits a light, they explode. And not only that, but some of these, and they were only about this big, they were poisonous to touch the wings. And these ninjas was there to protect not only the cameras but the crew. So I would be walking like this to direct, and I had these ninjas jumping in front of me, catching these animals. And it was, I've never seen anything like it. It was like a Disney film. There were snakes coming out of the road, there was these bats, and I sort of got into it, and I wanted to catch them myself, and I didn't have the gloves on, because, as I say, some of them were poisonous, so they gave me these gloves, and I'm the colonel, so I like to lead from the front, so if I need to protect my assistant, so I was jumping around trying to protect my assistants, and that was my first experience of a shoot in Japan, and it was amazing. Amazing. Again, I'm old school, and I'll be honest, I would shoot every time. I haven't shown you here, but I have some more recent, and I can show you those while I'm here this week, of fully digital car shoots or car commercials, where we've taken the CAD data and stripped in the backgrounds and produced a complete CG commercial. And they work, and they're stunning. You've got to have enough budget to do it, and because I work globally, budgets are a difficulty in some markets. They haven't got the CG budget or the digital budget, but as I say, I'm a photographer, or I'm not a photographer. I'm a creative. The problem I have with CG, or the problem I have with that, is that it's too controlled. What I like about shooting for real is you get the mistakes, you get the unavoidable or the unintended glitches. And visuals are not perfect. And I like that spontaneity of putting a car under a sky and a reflection that I wouldn't expect, and just going for it. So I'm old school, and you can't beat putting a camera or putting a car under the camera in the real thing. And in film, I make mini feature films, etc. And you talk to those guys, and you can do wonders in the world of post and CG, but to get the real flavour of shooting and expressing a thank you in Thailand, the only way to do that was to actually get everybody in the jungle of Thailand and experience what it was like for real, and then you understood why they were saying thank you for that car that works in a jungle. So I'm old school, but that's where I come from.